you a little bit afterwards. First things first, I want you all to thank Karina. The music has been beautiful this evening, so big round of applause for Karina. She did an awesome job for us, I'm sure you all agree. Okay, so good evening, everyone. I'm Isabel Wilson, the President of the Chamber of Commerce, in case anyone here didn't already know that. It's so good to be here with you all this evening and to see so many happy faces out there in the crowd. I just wanted to start this evening with very quickly just to highlight our social media campaign. On each of the tables, you'll see a little card. It has the Chamber's Instagram site. What we'd like everyone to do this evening is, enjoy yourselves, take photos, do reels, make the posts. Please use the hashtags that are on there. So hashtag Easton MA and hashtag put your face in this space. Because that's what we want to encourage you all to do. We want you to get out there and collaborate. We know that we've got some great member-to-member collaborations within the room. I know about them, but does everyone else? So we want to shout it from the rooftops. We want to put Easton on the map, just to let everybody know that we've got a vibrant, engaged Chamber of Commerce, and there will be a $100 McGuire's gift card just for this evening. So someone in this room will win one. Obviously it's McGuire's because we're all inspired by the social media guru that is Neil. So let's take something from his books on that. Okay, I will come back and chat a little bit after dinner, but please enjoy the food this evening. I hope you all enjoyed your meal. So I just wanted to come back again and, just really welcome you all here this evening. This evening's all about you guys and the Chamber showing our appreciation to all our businesses and to each and every one of you for being here this evening. So I'd like you to give yourselves a round of applause. So as you can imagine, an event like this doesn't just happen overnight. So I do want to take a moment to thank our hard-working board of directors. As you know, all the board of directors, they're all volunteers, and I would like them to stand for a minute and be recognised. And I also want to welcome Chris Mills and Mike Azak back to our board of directors. And so, guys, I can't see any of them standing up. They're all pretending to be shy. But of course, the main person that organises the board and organises everything for the Chamber is our programme director, Lisa DeVos. Lisa, thank you so much for all that you do. You work so hard and we really appreciate you. And we've got a little token of our appreciation for you for this evening. And also special thanks to Mark Lombardi and of course to Anne-Marie and her team for putting on a wonderful spread for us all this evening. It's always a pleasure to be at Easton Country Club. Okay, so we're very happy to say that the Easton Chamber of Commerce is thriving. The community grows and we all maintain our focus on serving our members and increasing the engagement between members and between the community. There's so much going on in the world today that's really largely outside our control. And as we face uncertain times, I would like to remind you all that, we have lived through a historic time. We've We've lived through uncertain times, and we've lived through events that we all thought were unimaginable. So whatever's ahead of us, all I would say is that we've got each other. Continue to support each other, continue to collaborate, continue to focus on Easton, the great community that we have, and that community spirit that we have. And everybody in this room has 110 cheerleaders for their businesses. So please take advantage of it and continue to help each other succeed in your businesses. So my next port of call is the pleasure of introducing the ultimate hype man, lifelong Easton resident. Everybody knows him, Mr. Joshua Peach.
Can everybody in the back hear me if I just talk, or is the microphone better? Good, all right. Everybody welcome Neil Levine to the party. So he's got stuff to say. Thankfully, he's in the corner. 107 people registered tonight. There's 97 of you. That means 90.3% of you showed up. My junior high school teacher is in the audience. That's why I'm doing my math, so I can really impress her and let her know I know my stuff. But for 97 people to come out tonight, it's kind of a big deal. It's cold. We got families. Got a lot of stuff going on. Who watches the news? Who watches the news? Hands up. Don't lie. Y'all watch the news. Just about all of you watch the news. At some point, you're watching the news. Guess what was in the news in the last 2 weeks? Google let go of 22,000 employees. Salesforce got rid of 8,000 employees. All these companies, these tech companies, are all firing and laying off people. And I was getting depressed because I was watching the news. And I was getting upset about things. And Isabel asked me to talk to you guys for 15 minutes, and I was upset about that because in 2020 I got an hour. I also had a nightmare last night that she kept saying, "You let me down. You let me down." She asked me if I was going to wing it tonight, and I said, absolutely not, and that's what I'm going to do. But I started to get depressed because I was hearing these things. And then friends of mine that are in the tech space, because I do a lot of speaking to companies in the tech space, started calling me and saying, I lost my job. I'm unemployed now. If you know anybody, can you help me out?
I need somebody in my office.
Well, we'll get your card. You're so energetic, I think I want to work for you. And all I had on my mind was I had to go to Northeastern Dental Associates to go see Scott Unison team to get a tooth pulled. That was my problem. And I walked in and I said, I'm here to get on the pain train and cry with everybody. But it was a pleasurable experience. It's a tough thing to say, right? Getting your tooth pulled is a pleasurable experience. And that's because the people at the front office were all smiling and laughing. That's because the dentist that pulled my tooth and Anthony, the dental assistant, were actually like going back and forth while they had my mouth open, yanking this tooth out. One saying, it doesn't look that bad, and the other one says, oh yes it does. I found myself when I was done saying, how did I do? That's pretty cool. Still hurts a little bit. Then I had to go and take my 15-year-old in. And they said, oh, good news. We can't help you, but Halverson can. For those things they call braces. And I went over there, and you know what I found? A happy team welcoming us. A group of people that have been there forever. Deb, who's worked in the office for 22 years. And then I got my bill from Morse Insurance. Y'all got some of those, right? I've had 31 annual renewal notices from Morse Insurance since I was 16 and a half years old, and I pulled up in front of their office and saw Mr. Morse, and he gave me a talking to about the responsibilities of driving a 1987 Subaru station wagon 5-speed, 4-cylinder, 0 to 60 in 13 minutes. I don't think we need to have a talk about how fast I can drive. Not that fast. But I've paid an annual renewal for 31 years to Morse Insurance. Do I get the best price? I don't know. I get the best service. I know that lizard and that duck aren't coming to my house and helping me when water's coming through my roof. But the Morses did. I love you. What's your name?
Mary. Talk to Mary.
Mary. Mary's going to talk next year. Mary's going to talk next year. All this stuff around the country is going bad. And what's not is what's in this town. And I think we live in a little bit of a bubble. I travel all around the country. I've spoken in 46 states and 6 provinces in Canada. I've given over 700 keynotes around the country. And every time I drive home, I drive one way. And I live on the absolute opposite end of town. I live in this place called South Easton. And you go past Big Y and Target, way past it. You almost get to Norton. As a matter of fact, sometimes I get to my house and I think I'm in Norton. That's how far out of the way I am. But the way that I drive home every time I come home is down Main Street. I never not drive down Main Street. It is the most out of the way for me to go, but that tells me I'm home. And it's because of the businesses and the people in this town that tells me that. It's because of the perseverance and the hard work and the weathering of storms and getting through the worst recession. Even Tony Robbins, if anybody follows him, I spent 5 days in a virtual setting with him last week. He's calling this an economic winter. When Tony Robbins talks depressing, that's when we start to get really scared about stuff, right? But you don't see that here. You see people looking out for one another. ECAT, hey. I got an email from Adam at ECAT on Monday or Tuesday. And he said, hey, we got this podcast studio that we'd love for you to check out and maybe record your podcast. Why? I mean, I am in the top 3% of all podcasts, which is pretty cool. Heidi Plisko, who's yelling, was talking about an episode she didn't know that I actually recorded, so we'll talk about that later. Super fan. But why did he call me? He called me because Chris Mills said, hey, you got to talk to this Josh Peach guy. He's got a podcast. It's really cool. And then I go in and I find out that Samantha Godfrey brought my name up when she went in to do a podcast and said, you should talk to him. How does Samantha Godfrey know me? Because her dad's a mechanic in town. But better yet, her father, Herb, has known me since I was 10 years old, who sadly passed away recently. Relationships are important. That's what gets you weathering through the storms. Caring about one another is what's important. This program that you're seeing on the table tents is important. If you're on LinkedIn, connect with me. This morning, Isabel put a post on about something I never thought about. Taking your family pictures down when you're selling your house to protect your family. That's good content. That's powerful stuff. Isabel's going to sell my house. I shared that post. My house isn't for sale yet for those that are excited. But I shared that post. What does the power of my care for Isabel mean in this room? 97 people. What does it mean in social media? I have over 5,000 followers that are mostly local that now just saw Isabel is doing something great by providing educational content for people that might be in the real estate business. We need to expand our reach this year. We need to look out for one another. We need to take care of each other more than ever because we are in an economic winter. We are going to experience lots of challenges. Many people are losing their jobs. There's a lot of tech people in business that live in our town that are losing our jobs. We have to be more sympathetic. We have to be more empathetic. We need to realize that the grass is not always greener on the other side. All that glitters isn't gold. And there's a lot of struggle going on. 1 in 3 people in the United States today is dealing with some form of depression. There's 97 people in here. Crap. Why couldn't it be 99? 32 and a third. 32 42 1/3 of you are dealing with something that's unimaginably painful, that is ridiculously difficult. I'm sad tonight because I'm here, and the last time I was here was for my grandmother's after party after she passed away, 5 days shy of being 100 just after Thanksgiving. That's heavy on me right now. So you really got to look at other people. But the most important thing this year that we need to do is we need to take care of one another more than we ever had. More than COVID. COVID was easy. Right now it's hard. And I think a lot of people would agree with me on that. I think it's wonderful what this chamber has done in the last 3 years, what it's accomplished. The board is entirely made up of volunteers with the exception of Lisa. We dedicate our time, we dedicate our effort to grow membership, to deliver value, to provide you guys with opportunities to grow your businesses, to grow your network, to grow your reach. You want to join the board? That'd be great. But be more supportive this year. Come to events. Meet one another. I challenge you all, there's a contest. Find somebody you don't know. Find somebody you don't know in here and take a picture with them. And if they're not on social media, get them on social media. I think social media is a damn devil, by the way. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I haven't made a post on Facebook forever. I do it for my business. I do LinkedIn for my business. I do Instagram for my business. You should do it for your business. You don't need to tell me all your life stories and everything else. I like you, but I don't need to know when you're going away or when your cat needs to be fed. But look out for one another. Find the good businesses. Make a difference. Be supportive. Your good words go a long way. It's really hard today because everybody expects the best and reports the worst. Last thing I want to share with you is there's one big thing that happens in this town that I think is often overlooked, and it's our public servants. Across the board. Our education institutions are fantastic, doing the best job that they possibly can. Is it perfect? No. Are our streets perfect? No. They need work sometimes. Politics isn't easy. But I want you to think about one thing. As a business owner in this town, last year alone, the Easton Police Department took 18,000 calls. It's approximately 51 a day, 2.3 an hour. I got the fire departments a little bit later, so I couldn't use my mental calculator. It's about 4,000 calls. Doing 24-hour shifts. Going home for a day and doing 24-hour shifts again. It's really important that we recognize those people for keeping our town safe, for people to want to live, learn, and work in. We really need to do that right now, more than ever. Don't be afraid to say thank you. Make gratitude your attitude this year. The last thing I'll tell you, after I told you the last thing that I tell you, I just realized I skipped over something, so I didn't wing it. Where the hell did Isabel go? She magically moved. But the last thing I'll tell you is about that news, and it's about anything negative, and I'm not saying take it out of you. It's there. Life's not easy, but it can be fun. But I did a podcast with a friend of mine, an inspiration. His name is David Cooks. Look him up. He wrote a book called From Paralysis to Purpose. He became paralyzed at the age of 15. And we're talking about all this bad stuff that's going on in the world. Doing some stinking thinking. And I said, man, can you believe this happened? Can you believe this is happening? Can you believe this is happening? He goes, yeah, I'm not participating. I said, what are you talking about you're not participating? He says, I'm not participating. I'm not going to participate in what's going on that I can't control. That isn't good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to participate in the things I can control and make them good. And I'll challenge all of you to do the same because I've been doing it for the last 2 weeks. And other than this tooth getting pulled, it's been pretty good. Congratulations to all of you for making it here tonight, for having your businesses, for growing your business, for making a difference in your community. I hope I get to come back next year and do at least 5 minutes. So if you can submit a good review, maybe 5-star, Yelp, something, that'd be great. It's been a great honor for me to have the opportunity to live in this town for 47 years. Place I call home. I raised my kids, my mom, my grandmother, everybody lives here. It's a really special place. We often overlook it. So enjoy the heck out of this town because there's not many places like it. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you very much.
All right, welcome everyone. So, in light of Josh's speech, Attitude to Gratitude, we want to tell you how grateful we are for our next guest. So it's my honor to introduce Kelly Lamb and Denise Lane. Raising Multicultural Kids was co-founded by these two ladies in 2019 after Kelly's kindergartner had experienced multiple racial incidents at school. So after reaching out to her local community for support, she found that her family was not the only ones that were experiencing racial issues, as many kids of color began to experience these issues as early as kindergarten, first grade, and second grade. School-based racial incidents are nationwide, and we know that they are certainly not unique to Easton. But a group of citizens led by these two trailblazers decided to take ownership of what was happening in order to bring about positive change in our school system and our community as a whole. Multicultural Kids is dedicated to increasing racial and cultural competencies in communities through deep engagement with schools, educational experts, and our local citizens. Its mission is to ensure that each child see themselves in the curriculum, in their teachers, and in leadership roles, and help them gain a better sense of respect for others and self-esteem. Their school-based focused initiatives provide children with the skills needed to understand, to navigate, and to celebrate different cultures, and to empower participants to advocate for equality and prepare students for future employment success in a global marketplace that is changing every day. Our public programs further support our school-based efforts as they facilitate continuation of all of these conversations at home with their families. Families and community members often reach out to Raising Multicultural Kids and Denise and Kelly for support and for safe places to be able to talk and find resources for their communities. So to both of you, on behalf of our chamber, on behalf of our town, we are so incredibly grateful for all that you're doing and for your just incredible, relentless attitude to promote change in our, not only our community, but our entire nation. So thank you so much. And without further ado, Kelly and Denise.
Wow, Darcy, thanks. That was great. I would like to thank Isabel and Lisa and the Chamber and all of you for having us here. We are honored to be speaking with you today. Oh, okay. So we're an education-based nonprofit. So our first slide is a quiz. So we believe in collaboration, so you can collaborate with the members of your table. Please do not collaborate with Google. So we are going to be taking a quiz. I'm going to keep track, and then we have a little prize at the end. What is the proper term for someone who has taken in a foster child? Just raise your hand, I'll call. Yes.
Foster parent.
It can be foster parent. Yeah, it can be foster parent. 1 point to your table. We actually have caregiver. And I've related the answer to books that we choose to educate kids on. So this is a family is a family is a family is a book that we have used in the classrooms. What was the name of the Chevy vehicle that was a flop because it meant no-go in Spanish?
Nova.
Nova, yes, Nova. Yes. So we're tied. What is the name of the 8-year-old that climbed out of her wheelchair and army crawled the steps of the Capitol to help pass the Americans with Disabilities Act? This one's tough because it's a name. I get it. If you can guess the year, then you can get the point. In the 90s.
96.
No. All right, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Her name was Jennifer Keelan Chapins. The book is all the way to the top, and it was in 1990. Seems like just yesterday, right? Isn't that so recent? What are the 4 colors of melanin which create our skin color? Take a stab. Why not? Raise your hand. Take a stab. There's 4. Who said that? I said you couldn't collaborate with Google. Okay, yes. Yellow, brown, red, and black. Why we are different colors, which is a book that RMK is writing. What is the name of the head covering that some Muslim women choose to wear when they become of age? Yeah. Yeah.
Let's raise your hand.
Yeah, raise your hand. Yeah, I'll give you the point. Under My Hijab is the book. Right here. This table's one. Your table's one. Okay. What does the word mitzvah mean? Oh, Dottie.
Good deed.
Good deed. Right. Good deed. Yeah. Mitzvah pizza. What % of teachers identify as people of color in the state of Massachusetts?
4. 2. 8.
12. I haven't heard it.
15.
I haven't heard it.
Why is it?
26.
26.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
Sorry, Kelly's telling me this is wrong.
It's 9. It's
Even though
9%.
I Googled it, but I'm wrong.
It's on, if you look at the Desi website, it's 9%.
All right, Google was wrong. I should have looked at Desi. In any case, the reason that I wanted to give you this quiz was to just give you a sampling of the enriching topics and discussions that we have in the classrooms with the students. We have school-based programming that Kelly will talk with you about, as well as community-based programming. But in the schools, we discuss these topics: culture, language, race, family structure, ability, and socioeconomic status. Why does diversity matter to the business community? Obviously, our country's changing demographics for both customers and employees, right? So you want your customers, your employees to mirror your customers. You want customers to walk in and see themselves in your businesses. The global economy, right? So we have been in a global economy. We will continue to be in a global economy, and it's important to, compete in this global economy. Indeed, which is the #1 job site in the world, states the following: overall workplace equality and equity can increase confidence and encourage employees to achieve their full potential. Diverse teams often lead to higher morale and a more productive, innovative, and loyal organization. More productive employees means better customer satisfaction. Who we are, Darcy, you did a great job. I don't even have to read this. You did an absolute great job. But we do believe in inclusive environment, a community that supports one another, and our lives become richer. The more we interact and learn and grow with other people. And we believe in speaking up and taking action. Now, Kelly will tell you the background of our story and why we formed this nonprofit.
Thank you, Denise. So you can see this beautiful little face right here is my youngest daughter. Her name is Katerina, although she likes to be called Kitty. This is a little bit low for me. Excuse me. So Kitty actually entered the Easton public school system in 2019. And she began to have negative experiences because of her skin color. After the first time a kid said something to her, she refused to take her coat off for 2 weeks because she didn't want anyone to see that she had brown skin. And we actually created our family through adoption. So both my husband and I are white, and we didn't understand what it was like to have experiences like this based off of our skin color. So we began to have this conversation with the school, and we were really happy with how the school handled the situation. But we were like, what can we do to better support Kitty so that she feels connected to her community? And we asked Kitty, we said, what would you like us to do? And she said, I want a black teacher to come into my classroom. I was like, okay, what's this black teacher gonna do? And she said, we'll stand in a circle and hold hands, and then everyone will know that it's okay that I'm brown. Right? At 5 years old, she already understood the power of representation, which was amazing. So we went to the school and we said, this is what Kitty would like. Can you do this? And the school said, we'd love to, but we don't have any black teachers. And so we were like, just crushed, right? That's when we learned that 91% of teachers in Massachusetts are white. So 9% identify as people of color, and 3% are black. So it's not a problem that Easton is gonna fix, right? It's a statewide problem. It's actually a nationwide problem. 87% of teachers in the nation are white. If you look at the student demographics, 55% of students in Massachusetts are white. So there's this huge difference between the student population and what they're seeing as leadership in their classroom. And it makes a difference. It doesn't just make a difference to kids like Kitty, who deserve to see themselves reflected in the leadership in their school, but all kids deserve to interact with diverse leadership. And so we ended up working with the schools and having a creative solution. We had a high school student come down into her classroom and provide that support for once a week. But it didn't stop her, from having more incidents. When she was out on the playground, kids in another class told her that they don't like brown, and so they won't play with a brown kid. And so, at that point, we go back to the school and we're like, okay, this is again, like we just started to recover from the last one. What are we doing? Like, how are we gonna try and prevent this from happening? And the school was really, really committed to doing the work. And they said, we're gonna create this diversity committee. We're gonna have a bunch of families that are, from groups that are often targeted by hate to inform the work that we're doing in the district. It was like the first of its kind when it happened, right? Now, many districts have a committee like this, but we were one of the first communities to do this. And so we ended up finding out that we are on the committee representing families of color. And I said, I don't feel comfortable with that because we're both white. Like, you really need a person of color in this spot. They said, we put it out there, but nobody volunteered. You guys are the only ones interacting with us. So I said, let me help you out. Let me see what I can do. So I went to Facebook, which is not, it was risky, I know. But I've always had a great experience going to the moms in Easton. And so I put it out there, and there were 30 people that volunteered to be part of the conversation. And so I was really, really happy with the response. We began to have a conversation with the school. And then the last day of kindergarten, Kitty gets the N-word from another kindergartner. And so we thought, we really, we're communicating over email. Let's get together in person and see what we can do. And so 19 families came to that first meeting. Denise was one of them. We all went around the table and introduced ourselves, and it turned out that every single person there, their child had a racial incident prior to 3rd grade, right? And it's not just our community. We are now in numerous communities in the South Shore. It's happened everywhere. And so we thought, why don't we just talk to the kids and let them know, hey, people come in different shapes, sizes, and colors. That's normal. Like, that's, what you see in the world, not just here in Easton, which is predominantly white, but out in the greater world, people come all kinds of different ways. And so we thought, why not expand that program of having this Black student go in there and act as a student teacher, have them read diverse books and talk to the kids about how there's so much diversity in the world. And so from there, we really began our first program. We decided to come together as a nonprofit and start bringing resources to our community so that we could do this work. And now we're in multiple communities with this program. We work with college students of color. They go down into the lower elementary classrooms. They read books on race and culture and socioeconomic status, kids with different abilities, autism, and they talk to the kids about all the diversity that exists in the world. And more importantly, they also tell the kids what to do if they witness or experience harm, right? I think a lot of times we don't have these conversations with young kids, but they're having difficult experiences. It doesn't matter who you are, we all struggle from time to time. So we want the kids to know if you're struggling, you can tell the person that's being mean to stop. You can go, if you're witnessing something, you can go play with the person that is, getting attacked, or you can, go or you can go to a safe and supportive adult. And so these are the kind of things that we talk to the kids about, and they love it. They absolutely love having the diversity leaders come in there. They love meeting different people and reading different stories. And the parents also love it. We've had parents who stood in front of our mitzvah pizza board. We talked to the kids about doing good deeds, and then we had them bring in food for the Easton Food Pantry. And it was all displayed in the community board, and parents standing in front of there crying, saying that they've never seen their culture represented in the school system before, right? And so it matters to so many people. And we decided, you know what, why not just do some more of that work, but do it at the middle school level? And so we created a middle school program called Advocacy in Action, where we help the kids do work in their community. And then we also have had such positive feedback about how well trained our diversity leaders are, because they actually go through 30 hours of training before the program starts, and then another 30 during the program, that we now offer educator training. And we partner with Bridgewater State University, the Massachusetts Teacher Association, and more, in order to train people on our curriculum. And then we also have community-based programs, because we want to make sure that this work also incorporates the families and the parents. And we have a lot of help from the community. A lot of people from Easton volunteer to serve on our curriculum committee, on our event planning committees, on our fundraising. And we wouldn't be able to do this here in Easton, let alone expand it to other towns, if it wasn't for the moms of this town. So Denise will actually tell you a little bit more about the impact of these programs, and here's some testimonials that she'll go over.
So we did measure the impact in numbers, but it's so important to also hear what those that we impact had to say. And so I'm not going to read all of these to you, but I just wanted to pick 3 that really stood out the most. And so I also want you to know that when we do our work, we impact not only the students, we provide professional development for the teachers, we are training college students, and we are also and impacting those college students as well. So up here in the top, I guess it's left for you, it's right for me. I love that my children, and this is a parent, I love that my children have access to DCLL in school. That's the Diversity in Classroom Leadership and Literature class. They have learned so much in a short time about many different cultures from positive role models in the classroom. It is an amazing addition to Easton's curriculum and an invaluable resource for our children. The next one I want to read is a diversity leader who's been with us. Pearl has been with us 3 years. RMK has allowed me to heal my past as I was an underrepresented Hispanic student in the South Shore school system. I am able to come back to the community and be a representation of what I wish I had. And then the last quote I want you to read was, to you is very impactful, extremely impactful, because it came from a first grade student. One of our diversity leaders is a black male from BSU, great guy. He is studying his master's in social work. And the last day of last year, when he was, they were celebrating him because it was his last day, she went up to him and said, when you first came here, I was afraid, but now I don't want you to leave. That is the change that we make. That is the change we make. So let's look at the numbers. For pre-K and 8, we are in 3 school districts, we have been since 2020. 137 classrooms, we've impacted 2,770 children and trained and developed 25 diversity leaders. We also are in Oliver Ames. Our youth forum actually really started this with the Oliver Ames team. Joe, I'm going to call out Shantaria on this because Joe's wife, Shantaria, was our actually co-chair of our youth forum. Started OA DJ events, DJ Henry. Many of you, I'm sure, know his story. We've impacted 1,800 students, and that's a constant curriculum. So we've turned that into a 4-year curriculum at Oliver Ames, so it will continue to impact hundreds and hundreds of students per year. Every teacher and staff member, we've been able to provide 6 $500 social justice scholarships for students at Oliver Ames, thanks to Northeastern Savings Bank, Anthony and Heather Morris, and Doug King Builders. We've also been able to provide scholarships for BSU students who are studying to be teachers and are an underrepresented group. We also have a kids bedtime book club. I have to say, if any of your kids like Ninja Warriors, we have Jessie Graff reading Monday night on our bedtime book club. And the Easton Proclamation on Anti-Racism, as well as the One Book, One Town initiative that we implemented last June. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that as well. But that, the book was Listening as an Act of Love, and we impacted 600 community members and students. So a little bit about the Easton Proclamation on Anti-Racism. We had a community member come to us and tell us that she found some white supremacist stickers in and around town and near her place of business. She was afraid for herself and her family and other families in Easton. So she asked us if we could help, and she brought up this proclamation on anti-racism. So we assembled a team. It took over a year. We worked with the Human Rights Committee. I see Craig there. We worked, and the select board. That's the next part. Thank you. So we worked with the Human Rights Committee to actually finalize the proclamation, and the select board as well. Thank you so much for all that you do. And I'm going to go through all of the signatories that took part in the proclamation on anti-racism, but just wanted to call out a couple of the sections. We actually have copies here of the proclamation at the front. You can sign on to say that you support the proclamation and take a copy and post it in your place of business as a commitment of your support of it. But just to call out a couple of sections, it says and this is, businesses and residents of the town of Easton, we respect the contributions, traditions, and different experience of all who live, work, study, worship, or visit in Easton. We commit to the equal protection of constitutional rights, human rights for all, and becoming a diverse, inclusive, welcoming, and supportive community. Okay, so we didn't want, after the signatories signed, which include the select board, the Human Rights Committee, the superintendent of schools, school committee. Thought I saw someone from school committee here. The town administrator, the civil rights officer of the police department, and the Ames Free Library. All are signers on this document. And we didn't want this document to just sit on a wall or and not really be taken action on. So we decided that we would pull together a committee and create what we called One Book, One Town, One Easton. And it was a huge success. Oh, I see Nancy here. That's my school committee person. So it was a huge success this past summer. And we felt it was really all about collaboration and how collaboration really will help unite our community. So around the Easton Proclamation, you'll see all of the signatories listed in that. But then we reached out to the broader community around our book, Listening is an Act of Love. I see Chris here, who actually, Chris Mills came to one of our community gatherings and actually sat on a panel about what it was like to be a first responder. And for those of you who do not know about the book, Listening is an Act of Love is a book that has short stories about the human experience. So there are all types of human beings in that book, but you can really connect to humans as they are, no matter what race, culture, whatever language they speak, or what they look like. So that was an exciting project. We worked with Oliver Ames High School, and all 300 or so incoming juniors read that book, had discussions with their teachers about the stories. We had 2 community gatherings, 4 read-alouds, and really, really impactful discussions around humans and how important it is that we connect. So just a little bit about some of the town statistics and the statistics that are changing. Currently we're 87% white and 13% people of color. And in the schools, there are 77% white and 23% people of color, just so that you know demographics. The town of Easton will always be a desirable place to live and work and frequent at businesses, and that's what we want. We want people to come to our town and frequent our businesses and keep us robust. How can you help? Well, we're a nonprofit. And I actually have to tell you about your prize because we're budget is tight. We're a nonprofit. So I actually have it at the table. So I'll show it to you later. Anyway, so how can you help? Help us continue our work by donating, sponsoring, or attending events. Becoming a volunteer. We live off volunteers. We need volunteers. That's how we get all of our work done. Oh, I also thank an Easton supporter of us. There it is, Peach. Thank you. So connect our team to a nearby school district. If you know of any school districts that you have a connection to, that we could go in and talk to the superintendent of schools. We would love to do that. We'd love to hear, explain our programming, and hopefully have our diversity leaders go into those school districts and educate others about the work we do. Have a meet and greet at your home. We're happy to come and do this in a more cozy setting, and just tell the world about what we do and how we want to unite our communities through education. Oh, how much time? Oh.
You should have said that to her.
Oh, you shouldn't have said that to me. So the only reason we have a video which is 9 minutes long, and I don't 8.
8.5.
8 minutes. She's correcting me.
No, it's just
No.
sounds better than that.
I'm kidding. It's 8.5 minutes long, and the reason I want to show it is, I want for you to really visualize the work that we do.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Christina. I have a really cool book. It's actually become one of my favorite books. Marisol McDonald Doesn't Match. That's the title of this book. Marisol. Can everybody say Marisol? Marisol. Marisol is a Spanish name, and it means sea and sun. So let's begin reading this story. So my name is Marisol McDonald, and I don't match. At least that's what everyone tells me. I play soccer with my cousin Tato, and he says, Marisol, your skin is brown like mine, but your hair is the color of carrots. You don't match. Actually, My hair is the color of fire, I say, and I kick the ball over to Tato's head into the goal. So do you think that Marisol feels good about herself? Thumbs up if you think she feels good about herself, or thumbs down if you think she doesn't feel good about herself. So she is happy, she's smiling, and right now she feels good about herself. I also love peanut butter and jelly burritos, and speaking Spanish and English, and sometimes both. Can I have a puppy? A furry, sweet perrito? I asked my parents. Por favor. What do you think perrito means?
Puppy.
Perrito. Remember, we have to raise our hand. Lucas?
Oh, like puppy.
Can we try to say it? Perrito?
Burrito.
You guys are doing such a great job listening and looking at the speaker. Marisol, you couldn't match if you wanted to, Ollie says. Oh yeah? I bet I can. If you look at this picture, does she look happy, Lily?
No.
No. Marisol, Miss Apple says. What's wrong? I'm trying to match, I say with a frown. And so because she's not being herself, she's unhappy. And who noticed?
Her teacher.
Her teacher noticed she was unhappy. When I woke up on Saturday, I put on my pink shirt, my polka dot skirt, and my favorite hat, the one my abuelita brought from Peru. At breakfast, I say, my name is Marisol McDonald, and I don't match because I don't want to. The end. Can you tell me how she felt at the beginning of the story? She felt happy. And how did she feel in the middle of the story? Anybody want to add? In the middle of the story. Lily?
Sad.
Sad. And now at the end of the story, Joseph? Happy. So could we say that Marisol is happy because she's herself? She can be herself, right? Even if she's mismatched, right? Marisol, she represents two cultures. So she has her mom, who's from Peru, which is in South America, and then she has her dad, who's Scottish American. So she's trying to figure out, how can I represent both cultures? And she loves wearing this hat. And so this hat is from Peru. And Peru is in South America. So I just wanted to show you a quick picture. Check this out. We're over here in North America, United States, and Massachusetts is right over here. But South America is where Marisol's mom is from. South America is right here. You probably may know this song, and if you do, that's great. But if you don't, you're learning a new song to help us identify feelings. So happy, 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 sad, sad, afraid, afraid, mad, mad, mad. Excelente, nice job. Anytime we see that someone isn't happy, think of those emotions. Happy, sad, afraid, and mad. Does everyone deserve to be happy?
Yes.
Yes. So how can we make sure that we're happy and we're respecting others so that others can be happy? How can we make sure of that? So if you think about Marisol or Marisol, think about what made her happy. Now I want you to think about what makes you happy. And I'm going to go around and I'm going to ask everyone to share what makes you happy. Her stuffed animal makes her happy. Thank you. Good job. Oh, what's this?
Me too.
Oh, I like that. See, I learned something. Me too. Cassidy, let's listen to what Connor is going to say. Connor, what makes you happy? Playing with his remote control car. I love that. Joao, what makes you happy?
Being at school.
Being at school makes you happy? Yes, super cool. I love that. That's pretty cool. A lot of us have a lot of things in common. So these are some of the things that make us feel happy, and it's important for all of us to be happy. And it's important for us to be able to check in on people, right? To make sure that they're feeling happy. The reason why it's one of my favorite stories is because I feel like I'm like Marisol, right? Marisol, yes. I feel like I'm like her. My parents are from different countries, and sometimes I felt like I didn't fit in. And because I felt like I didn't fit in, it was sometimes difficult. And so that's why it's one of my favorite stories. Because I see myself in Marisol. I might not look like Marisol, but her experiences remind me of my experiences. I'm going to use this to show you some of the words in Spanish, and we're going to walk out of here learning at least 3 words in Spanish. You know one, right? Is there a Spanish word you remember? Perrito, that's right.
Spanish for puppy.
Yes. Can everybody say perrito?
Perrito.
Check out the words that you now know in Spanish. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. So you're going to come home with new words in another language. Can everybody say perrito?
Perrito.
Por favor.
Por favor.
Abuelita.
Abuelita.
Burrito.
Burrito.
Fútbol.
Fútbol.
Excelente, muy bien, good job. This has been so nice for me. Thank you guys. I am so happy that you guys let me share a special story with you. Lily, you have a question?
I realized that there was one more word in Spanish.
What is it?
Her name, I'm pretty sure, was sun and ocean in Spanish.
You know what? She's right. Lily remembered Marisol. Oh, that's right. Thank you so much. I'm so happy I was here. I appreciate you guys sharing your space. And can we give a round of applause to your amazing teacher for letting this happen? Ooh.
What do we say to Miss Martina?
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Denise and Kelly. There's so much information on their website. We really appreciate you for coming along this evening and for all the work that you've been doing. And I believe Chris is going to move us on to the next part of our agenda.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. I'm Chris Ventresco. I'm on the board of directors here at the Chamber. I have the pleasure of introducing our next act. He's an award-winning magician, mentalist, and entertainer based in the Worcester area. He's been thrilling audiences, large and small, young and old, with fun-filled shows that are perfectly suited to complement any event. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome George.
All right. Well, good evening. How's everybody doing? Everybody having a good time so far tonight? Enjoy yourselves? All right, good. Thank you all very much. Well, thank you for inviting me here tonight. As you know, my name is George. I am a magician and mentalist. Before I do start, how many of you actually do believe in magic? Just a show of hands. A few jaded ones in the back. That's okay. Well, I want to kick things off my favorite kind of magic. It's a little bit of sleight of hand that's done to some music, but I have to warn you, don't blink. Or maybe that's the whole thing. It's kind of like Magic Dictionary. See if you can guess what it is I'm about to draw. Here we go. A paper. Blank page, yep. Marker in my pocket. All right, so what should I draw this time? This will be easy for you to guess. Here we go. What do you think? Circle, not quite. I know I'm not supposed to spell this game, but I will. Change it just a little bit. One more. So what do you think? Pretty lifelike? I think it's kind of real. Okay. No. My downstairs neighbors love when I practice that trick, which is really fun. Well, now magicians are usually doing card tricks, and I'm actually no exception, but rather than me do the trick, or do the mind reading, I'd like to have someone out here actually do it for us. I have a pack of cards that are here in the box, and this little lady right here, hi, what's your name? Christine, have you ever seen me before? I can tell you'd be a lot more excited if you had, but that's okay, Christine. Christine, do you play cards? No, but you know all the different numbers, all the different suits? Okay, because I did this a couple of nights ago. I asked someone to name a card. They said the 2 of Queens. So you don't have to do something silly like that, right? Okay. Christine, I have a pack of cards here in the box. Hold your hand out for us like this, please. What I can do is place your other hand on top. Now, Christine, start to squeeze the cards. Do you feel them getting a little warmer?
I'm working.
You're working on it. I know it's cold, though. Squeeze a little harder. Are they getting warmer now? Okay. Squeeze a little harder. Are they getting warmer now? Good, okay, because those are no, unless you said yes, okay. Christine, what I want you to do is, in your mind, imagine the cards spread out on the table in front of you. Go through all the different numbers, all the different suits, and then narrow it down to one card. But don't pick an ace, because ace is obvious, right? Everybody always picks like the ace of hearts or ace of spades. So Christine, think of something more difficult, more unusual for someone to guess. Do you have a card in mind? Name the card.
8 of diamonds.
The 8 of diamonds? Really? Interesting. Do you want to change your mind? This is really weird, Christine. Open your hands. I have one card in this box that's backwards from all the other cards. You said the 8 of... I'll give you one last chance. You want to stay or change?
I'm staying.
I like conviction. This is really weird. As I said, I have one card in this box that's backwards. Christine, you said your card was the 8 of diamonds. We'll take the cards out of the box. I'll go through the pack until it comes to that one card that's actually backwards. You said yours is the 8 of diamonds. There should be one here right about there that's facing the wrong way. We'll go through the entire pack, and you'll all notice that out of the 52 cards I'm holding, there's only one facing the wrong way. Now, Christine, I gave you a chance to change your mind. You said you had the 8 of diamonds. This is really cool, because I also had the 8 of diamonds. Now, some people might call that mind reading. Some people might call that ESP. I like to think it was an act of God, but what can you do? Now, Christine, we didn't make any arrangements before the show. Do you want to make some after? I've got time. We'll talk, okay. So some actually think that was ESP. Now, by a show of hands, how many of you do believe in ESP? How many think you have ESP? How many don't even know what ESP is? That's what I thought. Well, ESP stands for extrasensory perception, or more simplified, the ability to read someone's mind. Now, this happens to everyone in everyday life. I'll give you an example. How many might be putting around the house on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, just kind of cleaning up, doing some housework? You start thinking of a friend or a relative that you haven't seen or talked to for quite a few years. And while you're thinking about them, your phone rings, you pick it up, and it's the person you're just thinking about. Does that ever happen to anybody? Yeah, that's what mind reading's all about. Of course, it's also caller ID, but that's a whole other story. But rather than just do it one-on-one, what we're going to do is we're going to have 5 people try this time. I'm going to take the cards, and I'm going to place a rubber band around them. We'll come around the room, and we'll actually have 5 people select playing cards. And since the rubber band's around the card, here's how I'd like you to select them. I'll place them inside a little basket over here. If you're selected to pick a card, what I'd like to do is just take the cards out of the basket and just give them a little break like this. Keep the rubber band on, don't try and take the cards out. But take a quick peek at one card, could be the 2 of spades, could be the 5 of hearts, whatever the card is, and then place it back into the basket. As I said, we'll have 5 people try this. We'll come around the room, and we'll try and read 5 minds. So let's start right here in the white sweater. Reach inside. Take a quick peek. Place them back inside. Yep. Okay. Let's see, we'll try a little distance here. How about right here? Reach inside. Take a quick peek. Place them back inside. Let's see, how about a little more distance here? Right there. Quick peek. Place them inside. So we have what, 3 people so far? Let's get that. How about right here? You're 4. All right. And then how about this gentleman right here? One last one. Quick feet, where's the back end? All right, there we go. So we have 5 people? All right, here's what I need you all to do. I need the 5 of you to stand up for us, please. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to make a mental picture of the cards in your minds. Focus, think of nothing but the card. We'll start here. I'm flattered, but think of the card. Okay. Okay. All right, I think that's something there. Okay, right here. Okay, keep your mind totally blank. That's it. Well, you have good focus. Okay. Now, don't see something. Right here. Okay, I might have to come back to you. All right. Keep your mind blank. No, not that blank. Just, you know.
I've been doing it blank professionally for a long time.
It's easy for you. That's okay. All right. Let's see. And then right here. Okay, I'll come back to you right here. All right, you're a little tricky here. Okay. That's all right. Yeah, I think I got it. Okay, so. All right, what's more on the room? So we have yes. Okay. What I'll do is I'll name the 5 cards that you selected. If I got it right, I'd like you to sit down. Okay, so one last shot. Okay, I think we have the King of Clubs, 3 of Clubs, 5 of Hearts, Ace of Diamonds, and 7 of Spades. She's pretty amazed over here. Kind of shocked about that. Huh? Well, let's see here. Well, when I was a kid growing up, I was always into magic, and a lot of people ask me how I did get started. And I really have to thank my grandfather for that, because you see, during the holidays, the entire family would go and visit my grandparents. Now, they had kind of a small place in the country, so to get all the children out of my grandmother's hair while she was cooking, my granddad would entertain us with some small magic tricks. He'd take coins out of people's ears. He'd do the one where you pretend to take your finger off and put it back on again. That's pretty simple. You just, you know. Of course, I improved on it when I got older, but that's beside the point. But I always liked magic, and I always wanted to be an astronaut when I grew up. So fortunately, one out of the 2 occupations I was able to follow through. But since I like being movies about astronauts in outer space, I came up with a card trick that has to do with that. And I do need someone to help us out up here and come up on stage. How about how do you spell the name of Greg? Right over here. Just looking outside? Yeah, Greg.
Oh, yeah, that you me.
Let's take a round of applause, everybody. Right over here. Turn on face, everybody. And hi there, what's your name? Kelly? Nice to meet you, Kelly. I'm George. Everybody, this is Kelly. Let's give her a big round of applause. Now, Kelly, just a quick question first. Have you ever helped a magician before? Never have. Okay, well, Kelly, let me show you what this is. This is what we call a release form. So, if you just maybe kind of sign right there. Oh, lefty, okay. And initial right there. Check mark here. X right there. And social security number right there. One of these days that's going to work. Okay. Now, Kelly, as I said, this is it's kind of a fun trick that actually deals with a pack of playing cards that I made up when I was a child. And I'm dyslexic. Anybody else have dyslexia out there? Yeah, do you? So I'm a very visual person. I like pictures and things like that. Not so much for words or verbal things. But I do like pictures. So I created this pack of cards that has all different types of things that have to do with outer space and the astronauts. We have an astronaut. We have rocket ships. We have lunar modules, the moon, aliens, flying saucers, different planets, constellations, okay? What we're gonna do is have you pick out one of these cards. It'll be my job to read your mind and guess which one it is. So you ready? Okay, first we're gonna do, Kelly, is just kind of shuffle the cards up a little bit, all right? Next thing I'll do is I'll spread them into a fan. And then Kelly, what I'd like you to do is take your pointing finger, get it warmed up. All right. Now point to a card, any card you like. The one you point to, keep your finger on so you know exactly which one it is. That one right there? Now before you take that card, you want to change your mind. You like the mind you have. Okay, take the card. Take a look at it. Show it to the audience. Don't let me see what it is, but make sure the folks way in the back can see back there too. All right. And then place it back on top, face down, right about there. Good. Now here's where the fun part comes in. Kelly will cut it to the middle, so I don't know where it is. What I need you to do is to make a mental picture of the card in your mind. Focus on it. I'll read your mind, and then I'll draw a picture of the card. Hopefully, it should be the right one. So you ready? Okay. First thing you have to do is lock in, focus. Okay, concentrate. Keep your mind totally blank. Focus on the card, because that's what I'm going to draw is what you're thinking. Okay? Okay, I think that's something coming in here. Come around the room here just to kind of confirm. Okay. This guy wants more chicken, I can tell. Okay, that's what you're thinking about. All right. Okay, I think that's something coming in. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think I got it. All right, here we go, Kelly. All right. I know why artists do this with their thumbs. I guess it's a perspective thing. So first, come around part here. Interesting. Squeeze the lines. Okay, what's going on over there? All right. A couple of craters here. Is there something going on over here? I mean, all right. Kelly, I think you did a great job. I was able to read your mind very, very clearly. The card that you picked was the picture of the moon. The moon card, right? That's the one you picked, the moon card? You didn't pick the moon card? She didn't pick the moon card?
No.
Really?
No.
What card did you pick?
You're supposed to know.
I drew the moon. I'm committed here. What was it? Which one, the purple or the green? Did you pick the green alien? Really?
Yeah.
Too bad. It was such a good picture of the moon, too. Oh, no, wait a minute. No problem. The green alien, yeah, he's part of my drawing, too. You just can't see him. Yeah, he's hiding inside the moon crater. That's like that book, Where's Waldo? I'll prove it. And then we have the green alien. Yeah, you will notice that is part of the drawing. Okay, that's not a sticker. The ink is into the back of the page. So Kelly can keep that as a little souvenir. And if anybody wants to look at it after the show, feel free to. Let's give a big round of applause, everybody. That was kind of silly. Well, how many of you actually like to learn how to do a couple of magic tricks? I can teach you how to do a couple. Actually, this one's really a lot of fun to do at parties. It's super easy to do. You just need a pack of cards, some balloons, which I have right over here, and you can entertain your friends at the next party that you go to. So what I'll do is I'll show what the trick looks like first to perform it, and then I'll teach you how to do it afterwards. Does that sound fair? Okay. So I have a pack of cards here that are all shuffled and mixed up. This gentleman's sitting right here. Hi, sir. What's your name?
Frank.
Frank. Now, Frank, have you ever seen me before?
Never saw you before.
Okay, so we haven't been in previous arrangements. Now, Frank, all these cards are shuffled and mixed up, right?
Yes.
Okay, your job is very easy because all you have to do is pick out one card. Since you're kind of in distance, I'll run my thumb over the side. You say stop whenever you want. When you say stop, we'll cut the cards, and that's when you pick. Does that sound fair?
Good.
All right, one final shuffle. Tell me to stop anytime you like. Here we go.
Stop.
You have to go a little faster than that. First time in show business, you're just nervous. It's okay. A little faster. Tell me to stop. Here we go.
Stop.
I didn't start yet. Have you ever helped a magician before?
No, never.
Yeah, because you're not helping one now, so kind of. All right, third time's a charm. Here we go.
Stop.
Right there. Okay, good. So that's the card right there that you stopped on. Okay, hopefully the folks way in the back can see. We'll show them on the sides here too. And the other side. All right. Here you go. You can put your glasses on, you know. You never have them on your head. You're way in the back over there. Makes no sense. No, focus on the card. I have a bag full of balloons here. What we're going to do is take one of the balloons out of the bag, this one right off the top, and here's how the trick goes. All I have to do now is just snap my fingers, and if everybody says, hocus pocus, your card is now actually inside this balloon. What was your card?
7 of spades.
7 of spades? Let me check and see. Yep, it's a 7 of spades, everybody. All right, so I'm going to prove it, right? I have to pop the balloon. Okay, so I do have a pin in my pocket. Just a little heads up, if you are sensitive to loud noises, now's the time to block your ears. So is everybody ready? All right, here we go. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. 1 card falls from the balloon. You said it was a 7 of spades? It's a 7 of spades, everybody. All right. Pretty cool card. Do you want to learn how to do this one? Okay, super easy to do. Just need a pack of cards, some balloons, and there are only 2 secret moves that you need to learn, and they're really easy to do. So the first thing you do is you have somebody pick out a card. Doesn't matter what card they pick, you just have to pick the 7. Here's the first secret move, everybody. When I say that the card is going back in the middle of the pack, here's what really happens. I don't really put these cards back on top. Okay? Instead, when I turn my back to go to the bag, I secretly move the bottom cards up and put the top cards on the bottom. So now his card is really at the top of the pack. Pretty easy so far, right? Second move you need to learn is before I reached into the bag to take out the balloon, I just slid his card off and held it in the palm of my hand. Okay? But nobody ever sees me do that because my back is turned towards you. So you have the card in your hand. Make sure the back of your hand faces the audience so nobody can see it. Casually walk over to the bag. You reach inside. Tear up the balloon. They still can't see the card in your hand because the balloon's in front blocking it. All that's left to do now is just pop the balloon, let the card fall to the floor, and it looks like it comes from inside, all right? That's pretty easy, right? A little sneaky. Of course, there's one small problem with this trick, though. You ever go to those parties and have those clear balloons? Right? Especially like 25th wedding anniversaries. Makes the trick a little more difficult. I'll show you what I mean because I have one of those with me. Get it right over here. Kind of gives the trick away. Yeah, it doesn't really cover the card so well. But that's okay because this is all you have to do. If you get a clear balloon like this, just give it a little rub. What that does, it heats up the air inside. Okay? When the air inside the balloon gets warm enough, the rubber will expand. And when the rubber expands, the card will melt through the rubber and go right inside the balloon. Any questions on that? I guess we do. Now, part of a magician's job is to have people see things that aren't there and not see things that are there. Now, that might sound a little confusing at first, but I'll explain it a little clearer afterwards. But I need a couple. Is there a couple out there that's singing? Or are you all kind of, is there a couple ready? Is there a couple? Yeah, why don't you both come on up? Let's give a big round of applause, everybody. And sir, you can stand right over here. And hi, what's your name?
Gladys.
Gladys, nice to meet you, Gladys. I'm George, and you are?
Alex.
Alex, nice to meet you, Alex. Now, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, you two are going to help me with this demonstration. But I did say that I'm dyslexic. True story. And anyone else dyslexic out there? Anybody else? Way in the back. How are you at spelling in school? Oh, not good, right? I was lucky I could spell my own name. Now, the thing that was very frustrating for me, more so than not being able to spell, was my teacher's attitude. Because they always said to me, George, if you have trouble spelling a word, look it up in the dictionary. How can you look it up in the dictionary if you can't spell it to begin with, right? But I always did carry a dictionary when I was a kid. It didn't really help me very much. Fortunately, today's smartphones, all I have to do is talk into the phone, the words come up, I'm able to spell it. But I do have a dictionary here, and if you could just hold on to that for us, please, just in case we might need that in a little bit. Now, Gladys, do you like to read? You do? See, I hated reading. I was more of a visual person, still am to this day. Occasionally I do read. My wife was actually reading this book the other day. She thought it was really interesting. It's kind of a murder mystery, but it's very gothic, has vampires and stuff like that. Also a little bit of magic involved. Now, Gladys, you notice we have about 350 pages in here. There's hundreds of words on each page. What we're going to do is have you select one of those words in just a moment at random, but hold on to the book for us for just now. All right? Do you need glasses? I have a little magnifying glass here. Do you have a glass? Okay, you can borrow his glasses. I'll select one of those in just a minute. Now, for you, No, you don't have to read or anything like that. This is pretty simple for you. I have a little travel wallet. Do you like to travel at all?
Yeah.
You do? Okay. Well, this is one of those type of wallets you keep your airline tickets and all different papers, passports, and stuff like that. We're just going to keep it closed. Hold your hand out for us like this. Alice is going to place it right on top. Just keep it nice and level like that. Okay? Now, Glass, here's what we're going to do to have you pick out one of the words. I have a playing card right here. And in order to pick out one of the words, I'll take the card, I'll run it over the side of the book like this. You say stop whenever you want. Hopefully you do a better job than he did earlier. Okay? And when you say stop, we'll just slide the card in to bookmark the page. Are you ready? Okay, Gladys, anytime you like, tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Right there? Okay, yes, about 2/3 through. Do you like that spot? Do you want to go further forward, further back? Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the card to open up the page. All right. Gladys, I want you to look at the word, but don't say it out loud. Just keep it in mind. Right here. Look at the first page up here in this corner.
Okay.
First word of the first sentence.
Okay.
Keep it in mind. And then also look at the page number as well.
Okay.
You have both? Okay, got them memorized? All right, good. I'm going to take the card out. Hold on to the book. Here's where the fun part comes in. How you doing there, Alex? Steady as a rock? Okay. Gladys, what I need you to do is make a mental picture of the word in your mind. Focus on it. Concentrate. I'll try and read your mind as to what it is that you picked. Okay? All right. You hope you remember. Then I can pick any word and people wouldn't know if I was right or wrong, Gladys. You gotta hold me to my truth there. Okay. All right.
Which one of us is worse?
Okay. All right, now Alice, I want you to kind of focus too. All right. All right. So focus here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm getting the impression it's kind of a longish word, isn't it? It's not a short word like and or the. It's kind of pretty long, right? And I'm getting the impression that this could be a lot of different forms and shapes, can't it?
Yeah.
You like this word, don't you? You do? Okay. Interesting. All right. Yeah, I'm kind of picturing rabbits. I mean, as I said, I'm a visual person, so I'm not picturing like letters and words. I'm picturing like a rabbit. It could be eggs, squares, liquid, ice cream, cake. I'm picturing all these things that I kind of like that. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. But now, Gladys, I'm getting a number as well. I'm picturing like liquids, cakes, rabbits, Easter eggs. And I have number 115. Was that the page number? No. Wasn't the page number. Because we're getting some weird numbers here. 115, 11. Does that mean anything to you? Alex, does that mean anything to you? Part of your phone number? Address? No? Okay. Yeah, it was weird. I was getting a visualization of the word, but I'm having trouble now with the word. Oh, wait a second. My teachers always told me, George, if you have trouble with a word, look it up in the dictionary. I'd like you to go to page 115, please. You need your glasses. I know that's really small writing. I'm so sorry.
Okay, 115.
115. Now there's two columns. Go to the first column, and actually I might change this last number from a 1 to a 5. I want you to count down to the 5th word, but don't say it out loud, please. Okay. And Gladys, in nice big letters, I'd like you to write down the word right above my numbers there.
1 second.
So you're looking in the dictionary, you have a word,
Yeah.
nice and loud. What's the word you have in the dictionary?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. The word she saw and wrote down is chocolate.
Woo!
But that's not the really weird part. Because remember a little earlier, I said that magicians have people see things that aren't there and not see things that are there. What was the page you saw the word chocolate on?
228.
Page 228? Go to page 228, please.
I'm
Sorry. I'm putting you through this torture.
That's your fault
I know.
asking an older couple.
There's only a couple of they volunteered you. That table right over there. Blame them. See those two? They're the ones to blame.
It's ripped out.
Yeah, there's no page 228 in this book. So she saw something that was never in here. You can look all you like. There's no page 228. There's no other chocolate in that book at all. You were holding that the whole time. And when I handed it to you, there was nothing inside.
Right, nothing there.
But if we open it up now, there's a page. Would you take the page out, please? Don't bother getting any glasses. Take a look. It's page 228
228.
with the word chocolate. Let's give them both a big round of applause. Very sweet. I need to borrow a couple of iPhones out there. Anybody have a couple? Is there an iPhone at this table I can borrow here? All right, if you can unlock it for us, please. And bring up your calculator if you could. Now I have a little receipt here just in case something bad happens. It doesn't really mean anything, but it just should make you feel a little bit better. Now I just want to make sure that you seem like you're kind of nervous. Just to make sure this is all cleared out here. Now, do you use your phone? You're a photographer. That's this. Now, do you use your calculator a lot at work or anything like that?
No, not really.
Not really? Okay. Now it's all cleared out. I just want you to hold on to the phone for just a moment. I need another iPhone on this side of the room over here. How about, okay, right here? Okay. Yeah, if you can unlock it as well. And bring up your calculator also. You have yours on the front page. Okay, just once again, make sure that it's all cleared out. Now, and your name is? Jojo. Now, do you use your calculator a lot, or?
Yes.
You do? What do you do for? You're a coach and a counselor. Okay, cool. Well, we're going to try something here with your phones as well. So now that they're all cleared out, here's all I can do. I'd like you to type in 3 digits, any 3 digits that you like, both of you. Okay, and then hit times. Pass the phone to someone else at your table. I'd like you to type in 3 more numbers each. Hit times. Pass it to another person at the table. Type. You have your hand up. Did you want it?
I have a question.
You have a question? After class, you can have a question. Did you type in 3 numbers? I type in 3 numbers each. And then hit equals. Okay, so you typed in 3, and you hit equals. Okay. Yep, equals. So 3 of you at this table typed in 3 different totally random numbers. 3 of you at this table typed again 3 totally random different numbers. You all had free choices. You handled the phones. You pushed all the buttons. You did all the calculations. What are the odds that the sum on that phone would match the sum on this phone? How many?
A billion to 1.
A billion or a billion?
Billion would be.
A billion to 1. I mean, I think it's probably more than that. It'd be astronomical, right? I mean, it'd be pretty crazy. What's the number, first number that you have on your phone? First digit?
4.
4. What's the first digit?
2.
2. Okay. What's the second digit?
0.
0.
1.
Not even close. Okay. Yours?
4.
4.
3.
3.
0.
0.
9.
9.
7.
7.
4.
4.
5.
5.
I forgot what I did.
These aren't even close. But I do have my receipt. Those here on this table. Once again, what's the first number that you have on your phone on the left here?
2.
2. You have the number 2. What's the second number?
On mine?
Yeah.
Oh, 1.
1. The next?
3.
3. Next?
9.
9. Next?
4.
4. Next?
I'm not lying. 1.
1. Next?
Oh, mine.
You're on a roll, dude.
I think it was 0, but
0.
you get 3 GS locked out.
So those are all the numbers that you had. What's the first number in your phone?
It's 4.
4. Next.
0.
0. Next.
4.
4. Next.
0.
0. Next.
7.
7.
5.
5.
0.
0.
3.
3. You don't really seem too impressed with that. That's okay. But remember, I said I was dyslexic. So I always had trouble with numbers, letters, getting words all mixed up. So this might seem like a pretty large number, and it is. But from my perspective, it's also a bunch of letters. Because if you turn them upside down, those letters will actually spell Easton Chamber. Our comments have just been way too long, everybody. Folks, you've been great. Thank you all for inviting me here tonight. My name is Jason Terrio. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everybody. Thank you.
Okay. Wow, thank you, Joe. Well, that was amazing. Another nice round of applause for Joe. Once again, everybody, we really appreciate you all coming and spending your Friday evening with us. We do have 2 important things to do as far as our competitions are concerned. So the first one for the social media contest, for the $100 of McGuire's gift card, and that goes to South Shore Dermatology. Awesome, thank you ladies. Come and see me in a second and I'll get you the gift card. Okay, so the most important thing of the evening is to pull the raffle for the fantastic gift basket that you all seen online. Thank you to everybody who donated to it. We've been able to raise $4,000, so that's going to allow us to do 4 scholarships. So 2 scholarships to Oliver Ames seniors and 2 scholarships to Southeastern Regional High School. So that's amazing, and thank you all so much for your support, for the donations to the basket, and for buying the raffle tickets as well. So Mike, can you draw the ticket for us?
Oh boy, Mike.
Woo! Oh, Mike.
Oh, right one, Mike. Oh boy, Mike. I like the wrong ticket, Mike.
All right, Nancy Gammons.
And the winner is Nancy Gammon. Yeah, I'm sure everybody knows Nancy. She's a great person in our community. Does a lot of work, and so that's awesome. It's $3,500 worth of items within the basket. So great thing for Nancy. So thank you all again for coming. Thank you to our amazing speakers, for Denise and Kelly, to Josh Peach, to George. The magician was amazing. But ultimately, thank you to all of you for coming. Thank you to Selectmen for supporting the Chamber. We appreciate you all, and keep sharing everything on the social media and the collaboration. Okay, thanks everyone.